Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, My Intuition. Myself, Dr. Prasad Patilam. It's my class on organic compounds containing halogen. First class on this particular topic, which covers some of the abstract of this particular unit and some of the important question and its answers. Okay, this class covers the nomenclature, classification, methods of preparation, and some of the important polyhalogen compounds. Nomenclature. According to IUPAC system of nomenclature, the alkyl halides are named as haloalkenes and aryl halides are named as haloarenes. Okay, so it's very simple system of nomenclature. If you know alkenes or arenes, the halogen or the corresponding number of halogen can be included, and we can commonly say that it can be called as haloalkenes or haloarenes. Coming slides, we'll get some of the examples that we'll discuss that. Classification, it can be classified mainly on the basis of number of halogen atom present in that alkyl halide or on the basis of the nature of the carbon halogen bond. First case, that is number of halogen atom. If number of halogen atom is one, only one halogen atom is there, we can call it as monohalides. Example, ethyl halide is given, or monohaloethane it is given. That is dihalide, second one, that is two halogen atoms are present. Example, dihaloethane. If three halogen atoms are present, like CH2X, CHX, CH2X, you can call it as trihaloethanes. So whenever you write the organic structure, you have to take care that carbon should have tetravalency. Either it should be 4 covalent bonds, or should be a double bond or triple bond. Okay, here X represents halogen atom. It may be a chlorine, bromine, fluorine, iodine. Then tetrahalides and so on. Now, based on the nature of carbon halogen bond, it can be sp3 hybridized. I said the carbon have tetravalency. It can form 4 covalent bonds. It can form 3 covalent bonds and a double bond, a pi bond, or it can form 2 covalent bonds or a triple, 2 covalent bonds and a double bond. So all those possibilities are there. So if it is sp3 hybridized, that is means one s orbital and 3 p orbitals are hybridized to get a uniform of 4 hybrid orbitals. Then 4 sigma bonds will be formed, 4 equal sigma bonds will be formed. Therefore, we can call it as sp3 hybridized. Example, the alkyl halide itself, where R represents the alkyl group, X represents halogen atom. So taking an example with the carbon hydrogen, 3 hydrogen connected to a carbon and 1 bromine is connected. That is methyl bromide. It is an example for sp3 hybridized CX bond or CBr bond. The second example, that is allylic halides. Allylic halides example is given RCH double bond CH single bond CH2X. The halogen atom containing carbon is connected to a carbon having a double bond. Okay, so the halogen atom containing carbon atom, its next carbon atom is having a double bond. Then we call it as allylic group, or they are allylic halides. Then third example, benzylic halides. Benzylic halides, mainly I'm taking example of benzene. To which a carbon is connected, and to that carbon halogen is attached. The halogen atom is not directly connected to the benzene ring. It is connected to a carbon which is connected to the benzene molecule. We call it as benzylic. Okay, so this is example for benzylic halide. It is also in which a halogen atom is connected to a carbon which is sp3 hybridized domain. Now next one, if it is sp2 hybridized, examples if you take aryl halides. Aryl halides in which say example benzene is taken to which directly the halogen atom is connected. So if you check the carbon atom to which the halogen atom is connected, so this carbon atom, it forms 3 covalent bonds and a pi bond. Therefore 3 covalent bond means only one s and 2 p is involved in hybridization. There one more p orbital remained as a p orbital with one electron, which shows a sidewise overlapping to give the double bond. So in benzene, it shows alternate single and double bond. That's why I represented with the circle. That is resonance hybrid structure is given. Another example, that is vinyl halides. Vinyl halides, the vinylic group I am representing here. So this is vinyl group. Vinyl group, if it is containing the halogen atom, then we can call it as vinyl halides. Say vinyl chloride is a very important monomer to prepare polyvinyl chloride, PVC. Okay, so they are vinyl halides containing sp2 hybridized CX bond. Then next containing sp hybridized carbon halogen bond, like alkynyl halides. Alkynyl means a triple bond is there. Okay, so a halogen atom is connected to a carbon which is having a triple bond, that is alkynyl halide. Here you can see the carbon atom having two sigma bonds and two pi bonds. Two sigma bonds means only two orbitals required, s and one p is used for forming the covalent bonds, and remaining two p orbitals are used to form the two pi bonds. Okay, therefore here the CX bond is having sp hybridized bond. Now, methods of preparation, haloalkanes, it can be prepared from by many methods. From alkanes, it can be prepared by simple halogenation, that is adding a halogen atom, say bromine in presence of aluminum bromide, AlBr3, you get corresponding RBr plus HBr. If you want to get alkyl chloride, then chlorine in presence of sunlight, you get alkyl chloride plus HCl. If you want alkyl iodide, we need to have an oxidizing agent like nitric acid or HiO3. Then alkyl iodide is formed with elimination of HiO with Hi as the byproduct. Okay, then from alkenes, that is can be done by addition of HX. Alkenes means they are having double bonds. To the double bonded carbon atoms, we can add a positive part or negative part containing molecules. Polar molecules are there, it can be added. So example, RCH double bond CH2. So this is an alkene. So here a pi bond is there. Pi bond, if you open it up, the pi bond, then electrons will go to carbon, or electron will go to the next set two carbon atom. That means these two carbon atoms are active. Okay, so while adding a HX, say example, an HX is added, then we can say that HX, it is a polar molecule. Okay, it becomes H plus and X minus. So H plus initially it will attack this pi bond system. It will attack in such a way that an intermediate carbocation will be formed. The carbocation should be stable. So if H is added to the carbon containing more number of hydrogen atoms, that means a positive charge will be formed. That means this electron will go to the carbon, H will be added. H is going as H plus. Electron deficient H is going, hydrogen is going. Therefore, the electron density of the pi bond will go to that carbon atom. The next carbon atom will be electron deficient. That means it gets a positive charge. We call it as a carbocation. So a carbocation, if it is a secondary carbocation, then it is more stable. Then continued attack of X minus to that carbocation, carbon containing positive charge, will give the product. This it follows a Markovnikov addition. I can say that this was introduced by Markovnikov. This rule we call it as Markovnikov addition. Markovnikov addition say that when an alkene is added to an unsymmetric alkene reacts with a polar molecule like HX, the positive part of the addendum will go to attach to the carbon atom containing more number of hydrogen atoms. That is that rule says. If in presence of peroxide, the same reaction is done in presence of peroxide, then it follows a free radical mechanism. Okay, then it is against that anti-Markovnikov rule. Okay, here it is RCH2 CH2X. It is RCH2 CH2X. Okay, this is CH2 and X. Okay, so RCH2 CH2X is the product formed. It is against that Markovnikov rule, or we call it as anti-Markovnikov rule. Now, from alcohols, that is ROH, general representation. From alcohols, we can treat it with phosphorus pentachloride to get corresponding alkyl chloride plus phosphorus oxychloride and HCl. It can be treated with thionyl chloride. We get alkyl chloride plus sulfur dioxide plus HCl. One of the importance of this reaction, both the byproducts SO2 and HCl, they are gaseous. SO2 is gas, HCl is also gas. Soon as it is formed, it will escape the atmosphere. That means the product RCl will be more pure. It is easy to extract or easy to separate the alkyl chloride formed by this method. It can also be prepared. Alkyl chloride, alkyl halide can be also be prepared. Alkyl bromide can be prepared by treating with bromine in red phosphorus, RBr plus PBr3. Okay, so these are the reaction from alcohols. Now, Finkelstein reaction is a name reaction. If an alkyl halide reacts with the sodium iodide in dry acetone, it will give corresponding alkyl iodide as well as NaX. That is exchange of halogen atom. The halogen which is should not be iodine here. Alkyl bromide or alkyl chloride can react with sodium iodide to give corresponding alkyl iodide, which is a Finkelstein reaction. Now Schwarz reaction, it is mainly done to get alkyl fluorides. It is very difficult to get alkyl fluoride by normal other first three reactions, but it can be prepared from an alkyl halide, alkyl chloride, alkyl chloride or haloalkane, maybe bromoalkane or chloroalkane can react with AgF to get corresponding alkyl fluoride. Okay, similar type of reactions are also there related to Schwarz reaction. Only thing that to alkyl fluorides can be prepared easily by Schwarz reaction. Other methods will not give alkyl fluoride easily. Now Hans-Dicker reaction, sodium silver salt of acetic acid, carboxylic acid reacts with bromine in presence of carbon tetrachloride. On refluxation will give alkyl bromide plus carbon dioxide plus HBr. That is named reaction known as Hans-Dicker reaction. So all the reactions are there in this single page. You can note down all the reactions. This is only the abstract. I'm not giving the individual examples are not given here. That is already discussed in my earlier classes. I'll give the link here under that. Detailed class was already taken. That link will be given here. Now haloarenes. Haloarenes can also be prepared by direct halogenation in presence of chlorine, in presence of anhydrous perchloride. It can react with the chlorine at around 300 degrees Celsius to get corresponding chlorobenzene plus HCl. It can react with bromine in presence of anhydrous FeBr3 to get corresponding bromobenzene plus HBr. It can react with iodine in presence of HiO3 to get corresponding iodobenzene plus Hi. So here the thing is that the HiO3 is important here, because if Hi is liberated, it will take back the iodine, give back the product, give back the reagent. So in order to separate that Hi formed, as soon as it is formed, HiO3 is added. Hi plus HiO3 gives 3 iodine plus 3 H2O. To stabilize the product formed, HiO3 is required. Second one, that is from diazonium salts. Diazonium salts are those having nitrogen triple bond or nitrogen double bond, nitrogen attached to benzene. First one, name reaction, Sandmeyer's reaction. A diazonium chloride, benzene diazonium chloride is taken as example. This benzene diazonium chloride we can prepare from benzene reacting with HO and nitrous acid. Okay, that we'll see in the coming examples. So if this benzene diazonium salt is present, from that, if you take it as a starting material, it can react with the Cu2Cl2 in presence of HCl to get corresponding chlorobenzene plus liberation of nitrogen gas. It can react with Cu2Br2 in presence of HBr to get corresponding bromobenzene plus N2 plus Cl minus. And then Gattermann reaction, that is again from diazonium salt. Diazonium salt is taken as the starting material, benzene diazonium chloride. It reacts with copper in presence of HCl. So Sandmeyer's reaction is in copper chloride or copper bromide. Here only copper is taken. React with the HCl on heating, you get corresponding chlorobenzene. It can also be reacted with the copper in presence of HBr to get corresponding bromobenzene plus N2 plus Cl minus. That is Gattermann reaction. Similar type of reaction, only the reagents like the variation is there. Here pure metal is taken, copper is taken, whereas in Sandmeyer's reaction, copper chloride as well as copper bromide is taken. Now Bals-Schimann's reaction. Bals-Schimann's reaction again from benzene diazonium salt, CCH5, N triple bond N plus and Cl minus. So N triple bond N, when nitrogen forms 4 bonds, it loses 1 electron density, it gets positive charge. Then one Cl minus will come and stay near to this. This is an ionic bond formed here. Okay, it reacts with the HbF4. Removal of HCl takes place. Becomes a complex, intermediate complex, which is benzene diazonium tetrafluoroborate, which on heating will give the corresponding fluorobenzene and liberation of N2 and VF. To get aromatic fluorides or fluorobenzene, this particular name reaction is very important to remember. Now the methods of preparation, haloarenes can be prepared from direct halogenation, from diazonium salt by Sandnes reaction, from Cutterman reaction, Ball-Stearman reaction can be used to get haloarenes. So in a single page, you need to note down all this, and you should keep on revising this one. Otherwise, you'll forget that name reaction, which one. Keep on doing organic chemistry. You have to study just like studying mathematics. Otherwise, just by reading, I cannot study organic chemistry. Keep on uh, writing this one every day, or in a period of time. You need to keep on preparing these notes. Once you prepare the notes, it will not be sufficient. Keep on writing, then only it will it will stick onto your memory. Now, some of the polyhalogen compounds. Polyhalogen, the word poly means many. Many halogens are present in the organic compound. More than one halogen atoms are present, like dichloromethane or methylene chloride, CH2Cl2. It can be used as a solvent for paint remover, as a propellant in aerosol, and solvent in manufacture of drugs. But it has got harmful effect. It acts on the central nervous system. It lowers the exposure to the lower level exposure to this particular organic compound creates a slight impaired hearing and vision. High level exposure causes dizziness, nausea, numbness in fingers and toes. So these are the harmful effect of CH2Cl2. Next one, that is trichloromethane or chloroform, that is CHCl3. CHCl3, it is used as a refrigerant, as in the it's available in market as R22. It is used as a solvent or for resin, oil, fat, alkaloids, iodine to dissolve resin, to dissolve polymer resins. We can use chloroform. You can dissolve oils, alkaloids, iodine can be dissolved. It can be used for preserving anatomic species in biology lab. You can see chloroform. You can feel the chloroform smell in biology lab, because it is used as a preservating agent. It is used for preparation of drugs like chloretone, or insecticide like chloropicrine. Chloroform is used. Harmful effect, it oxidizes to carbonyl compound, phosgene. It is a poisonous gas, and it causes liver and kidney damage. Therefore, whenever we have chloroform in lab, or when we purchase a chloroform, or the initial test, primary test done on chloroform is the presence of phosgene. If phosgene is there, we have to be careful. So the testing of chloroform is mainly done for identifying whether phosgene is present in that or not. Along with that, whether it is oxidized to phosgene or not. Inhaling chloroform vapors causes dizziness. That you might have seen in many videos that chloroform is used for crime scenes, and okay, it causes dizziness, fatigue, and headache. Iodoform, that is like just like chloroform, iodine is there instead of chlorine. CHCl3 instead of CHCl3, it is CHI3. It used as an antiseptic in dressing wounds. Iodine is a very good antiseptic agent. It releases iodine. This CHCI3 release iodine, therefore it can be used as antiseptic. It is used as a methylating agent in organic synthesis. Methylating agent means to add methyl group, that we call as methylating agent to any organic compound. If you want to add methyl group, we call it as methylation. Then perfluorocarbons, PFCs. PFCs are used as lubricant, surface coating, serves as a dielectric, heat transfer media. In healthcare, in skincare, cosmetic, it is used. In medicine, retina reattachment, it is mainly used. Freons, very important compound, that is chlorofluorocarbons. They are used as refrigerant, blowing agent, propellant, degreasing solvent. Okay, refrigerant we already know, to cool the temperature in the refrigerator. And blowing agent, that is mainly done in polymer industry to prepare polymer forms. There blowing required. Extra gas you have to introduce to create the forms. It is used as a propellant as well as a degreasing solvent, means to dissolve the grease. Effect, it causes disruption of ozone layer. Okay, this is one of the important one that you already studied in environmental studies, the ozone layer depletion, that is mainly due to chlorofluorohydrocarbons released. Okay, it will disrupt the ozone layer, and it is an anthropogenic compound, which means it is a causes environmental pollution. It is a greenhouse gas also, and its effect is more than that of carbon dioxide. Now DDT is not available as such. It was stopped. The production was stopped by all the government. That is para dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane, commonly known as dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane, referred as DDT. Its structure you should know. It consists of tetrachloroethane. Ethane means two carbon atom containing tetrachloro. Now it contains para phenyl group. The chlorine in the phenyl group, it is in para position to the ethyl group. Therefore, it is para position. So it is para dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. Its effect in 1914s, it was used as a pesticide to kill the pest in the agricultural land. But it has got a persistent, it will persist as organic pollutant. It will be absorbed by soil and it will remain as such. It will not be degraded easily. It is lipophilic. That means it will dissolve. If DDT is present, it can dissolve in the lipids and fat. We humans nowadays, we are having enough fat in our body, enough lipids are there, so DDT can go and dissolve in that fat or lipid, and create bioaccumulation. Its concentration keep on increasing, keep on dissolving. If it is available in the soil or if it is there in the plants or fruits, it will accumulate in our human body. It is genotoxic. It affects the gene DNA. It induces enzyme to produce other genotoxic intermediates and DNA attacks. That means even if it changes to some other cancerous cells, it modifies the cells and mutation takes place and even causes cancer. Therefore, the use of DDT was stopped well early, and still now, even now also, the use of the presence of the DDT is found in many human fat as well as lipids. So those who are not yet subscribe my YouTube channel, please do subscribe my YouTube channel. Subscription button is there and in your display screen. Then we'll continue to the question answer section now. It is CET question, JEE coaching. Questions are selected and given the solution for that. Based on nomenclature, classification, methods of preparation, and polyhalogen compounds are discussed. The other topics will be discussed in the next video. Okay, question number 1. The IUPAC name of following compound is. So compound I'm giving. I'm not telling the name as such. Options I'll give. That is 1-chloro-4-methyl-benzene, 4-methyl-toluene, 1-methyl-4-chlorobenzene, 4-methyl-chlorobenzene. If we take benzene as the parent chain, that means we are not considering CH3 along with that, considering benzene as the parent chain and these two as the substituent or attachment to that. Then we'll count the number 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. We'll give chloro as the first preference, then methyl, M. C comes first, then M, methyl comes fourth. Therefore, this is the preference. That means it is 1-chloro-4-methyl benzene. But if we consider toluene, that is C6H5CH3, you can consider it as a parent hydrocarbon. Then chlorine, it is the attachment to that. Then count will go in this direction. 4-chloro-toluene. If his name will become 4-chloro-toluene. 4-chloro-toluene option, it is not given here. Therefore, the correct answer is 1-chloro-4-methyl benzene. That is option A. Question number 2. Which of the following is an allylic halide? Option A, 2-chlorobutane, chloroethene, 3-bromopropene, 2-chlorotoluene. This is toluene. E is required. TOLUENE. Okay, so I will check the structure of first one. It is butane, 2-chlorobutane. Butane means 4 carbon atom. 4 carbon atoms are given with a single bond. Then 2-chlorobutane. So I'm considering this as position 1. Position 2 contains chlorine. So 2-chlorobutane. Now the remaining have to satisfy with the hydrogen. it is only butane. There are no double bonds, therefore all single bonds. So all the tetravalency of carbon is satisfied by adding hydrogen to that. So this will come 2-chlorobutane. Whether it is allylic halide, no. Then second one, chloroethene. Ethene means two carbon atoms, and it has got a double bond also. So ethene and chloroethene. Both carbon atom, if I give chlorine here or chlorine here, both become chloroethene. One chloroethene only. One chloroethene is not because only two carbon atoms are there. Therefore, we can call it as chloroethene. Only one chlorine is there. Okay, the remaining with hydrogen atoms. The tetravalency is satisfied for the carbon. Third one, 3-bromopropene. Prop means three carbon atoms, and propene. Propene, the number double bond no need to mention because only two positions are there. If I add give double bond here or double bond here, it become one propene only. One propene is propene. Okay, so then third carbon atom having bromine. So here more importance given to double bond, then halogen atom comes. So it is now 3-bromopropene. Now option D, that is 2-chlorotoluene. Toluene, we know that is CH5CH3. Position 2 having chlorine. So now which one is allylic halide? So we know allylic group. That means the halogen containing carbon, the next carbon is having a double bond, that becomes allylic group. So 3-bromopropene, it is example for the allylic halide. Which of the following is not an allylic halide? 4-bromo-pentatoene, 3-bromo-2-methyl-butadiene, 1-bromo-butadiene, 4-bromo-butadiene. So I give the structure of all the four options. First one, that is pent. Pent means 5 carbon atoms. Pent 2-ene, so 5 carbon atoms given. Position 2 is having double bond, so position 2 double bond is given. Now position 4 is having a bromine atom, therefore bromine atom is also added. Remaining you have to satisfy with the hydrogen. I'm not giving the structure. I'm not adding hydrogen to that. You can fill hydrogen. Next one, that is 3-bromo-2-methyl-butadiene. But means 5 net proper but, so this is wrong. Okay, so by mistake I added. Okay, so the remaining with so this is not required. I'll remove it. This is not required. This also not required. Okay, net yet proper but, like that we'll give the nomenclature. It is but-1-ene. Okay, so this is 3-bromo, position 3, because double bond already present here. But-1-ene, position 1 having double bond, position 3 is having bromine, position 2 is having methyl group. Okay, then next structure, that is that is but. Again 4 carbon atoms should come. Okay, only 4 carbon atom came, and 2-enes, position 2 having double bond, and 1-bromo, position 1 having bromine. Now option D, that is 4-bromo-but-1-ene. But means 4 carbon atom, and 4-bromo and 1-ene. So position 1 having double bond, position 4 having bromine. So now here which one of the following is not an allylic halide? Allylic means the halogen atom connected to the carbon, the next carbon should have the double bond. So here halogen atom connected to carbon, next carbon having double bond. Here also it is having double bond. Here also it is having double bond, whereas here it is not having double bond, it is having only single bond. Therefore option D, it is not allylic. That is 4-bromo-but-1 is not allylic. Next question, 3-methyl-pent-2-ene on reaction with HBr in presence of peroxide form an addition product. The number of possible stereoisomers for the product is, so stereoisomers we calculate as 2 to the power n, if you know the n. Okay, so option 2, 4, 6, 0. So we'll give the structure 3-methyl-pent-2-ene. So 3-methyl-pent-2-ene. So position 2 having a double bond, and it is also having methyl group. So that is 3-methyl-pent-2-ene. It on reaction with HBr, that is Markovnikov's rule, in presence of peroxide, anti-Markovnikov's rule. Therefore, the positive part of addendum should go to the carbon containing less number of hydrogen. H will go to this carbon, not to the one containing already having hydrogen. Okay, against the Markovnikov's rule, if you go. Therefore, the product formed CHBr, CH3H, CH2, CH3. Here it forms the addition. These two sides is forming addition, as well as these two are having the carbon containing 4 different atom or group of atoms. Okay, the one which is given star, this carbon is connected to one CH3, Br, then a big alkyl group as well as hydrogen. All the 4 covalent bonds are satisfied by 4 different atom or group of atoms. Similarly, the second carbon, the next carbon atom also. Therefore, they can give stereoisomers. Okay, so there are 2 chiral carbon atoms. We call that carbon atom as chiral carbon atom. That is an n equal to 2. Therefore, 2 to the power n, 2 to the power 2, that is 4. Therefore, it will be giving 4 possible stereoisomers. The following reaction, RCl plus NaI in acetone is Ri plus NaCl is known as. It's already explained. That is alkyl bromide or chloride reacts with sodium iodide in presence of acetone to give alkyl is known as a Finkelstein reaction. What will be the end product B in the following sequence of reactions? CH3, that is toluene having 2 bromine atom, reacts with the KMnO4 in presence of a base, and continued hydrolysis, oxidation reaction should take place. Okay, CaO plus NaOH on heating, that is the carboxylation reaction. Options 1,2-dibromobenzene, 1,2-dibromobenzaldehyde, 1,3-dibromobenzene, 1,4-dibromobenzene. Okay, now this first one is oxidation. CH3 group can be easily oxidized to carboxylic acid. Then decarboxylation, removal of carbon dioxide from that. Okay, will give the reaction. CH3 connected to benzene ring, Br connected, position 2 and position 4, bromine is there. Then on oxidation followed by hydrolysis, we'll be getting the corresponding carboxylic functional group, COH group, in place of CH3. Now decarboxylation, removal of carbon dioxide from that, and hydrogen will be, CO2 will be removed, hydrogen will be attached to that benzene. Therefore, on decarboxylation, you'll be getting corresponding Br. Now, what is the name of this? It is a benzene molecule containing 2 Br. Whether it is position 1, 2, 3, if you count from here, or if you count from here, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 3 position having 2 bromine, 1,3-dibromobenzene. Option C is the correct answer. Chlorobenzene can be prepared by reacting aniline with HCl in the presence of nitrous acid, cuprous chloride in the presence of aluminum chloride, chlorine in the presence of aluminum chloride, and nitrous acid followed by heating with the cuprous chloride. Okay, so chlorobenzene can be prepared from aniline. Aniline is CH5NH2. First, we have to convert into diazonium compound that we already studied in our abstract. Means connected to aryl halides, benzene diazonium salt. If it is formed, then it can be further reacted. So for NaNO2 plus 2HCl, that become HONO. Okay, so nitrous acid in presence of HCl at 0 to 5 degrees Celsius will give the corresponding benzene diazonium salt and H2O plus NaCl. Now this benzene sulfonium salt, when it is formed from it, we can prepare chlorobenzene by Samuel's reaction. Okay, benzene diazonium salt on reaction with cuprous chloride in presence of HCl will get chlorobenzene. So what are the things happened? Nitrous acid, this mixture we call it as nitrous acid, followed by heating with cuprous chloride. We are getting chlorobenzene from aniline. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Now, an alkyl bromide is formed as the major product on reaction of 3-methyl-2-butene with hydrobromic acid under thermodynamic condition, that is just normal heating. Which of the following is the correct IUPAC name of the product? Okay, so what are the cases? 3-methyl-2-butene reacts with HBr. Okay, that means Markovnikov addition. Okay, first we'll do that reaction. CH3, CH double bond, C, CH3, CH3. So here CH3 is a substituent side group. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 parent chain, that is but. 2 butene, position 2 having butene, and position 3 having methyl group. Therefore, it is 3 methyl, 2 butene. It reacts with the HBr. HBr means, according to Marconi-Cross addition, the positive part of the addendum, that is H plus. It becomes H plus and Br minus. So H plus first reacts, it will connect it to the carbon containing more number of hydrogen atoms. This carbon is not containing hydrogen atom. This carbon contains one hydrogen atom. H plus will go and add to that carbon, and will get a carbocation, a tertiary carbocation. A carbon with positive charge is connected to one carbon, second carbon, and the third carbon. Therefore, it is a tertiary carbocation. It is more stable. Therefore, this intermediate product will be formed. Then it reacts with the Br minus to give the corresponding product, and its name is 2-bromo, 2-methyl. So now the count will start from here because double bond is not there. Now all the carbon are equally single bonded. Therefore, more attachment is present on this side. Therefore, we start counting from here. Position 1, and this is position 2. Therefore, 2-bromo, 2-methyl butane is the product. 2-bromo, 2-methyl butane. Which of the following is the correct method of preparation of methyl fluoride? Okay, how to prepare alkyl fluoride already explained in the abstract. CH4 plus HF, CH3OH plus HF, CH4 plus F2, CH3Br plus AgF. Okay, so this one already we seen that's the correct answer. So I'll give some explanation for this. HF, it is very stable compound because fluorine, it is highly electronegative. It will form very strong bond with hydrogen. HF is highly stable. It will not react. Fluorine is a gas. It also will not react with methane. The only option, that is CH3Br plus HF, that is okay. It is the Schwarz reaction which gives the alkyl fluoride. So option D is the correct answer. A number of monochloro derivatives obtained when propane is chlorinated. 1, 2, 3, 4. Monochloro derivative obtained when propane is chlorinated. So we'll take the propane, CH3, CH2, CH3, propane. On chlorination, CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl plus CH3, CHCl, CH3. Okay, so here we can see these two carbon atoms are similar, having 3 hydrogen atom connected and 1 CH2 connected. And this carbon atom is another carbon, another type of carbon, I can say, having 2 hydrogen and 2 methyl group. Therefore, monochlorination, only 1 chlorine if it is added, you can get these 2 products. Both products are possible. Therefore, primary and secondary carbon atoms are there. Therefore, the number of monochloro derivative from these 2. Number of monochloro derivatives obtained when neopentane is chlorinated. Okay, so neopentane is not a IUPAC nomenclature. 5 carbon atoms are there. It forms a structure, 1 carbon connected to all the remaining 4 carbon atoms. So this is the neopentane structure. 5 carbon atoms are there, but it is not the IUPAC. IUPAC means 2,2-dimethyl propane. Okay, so neopentane on chlorination will give only 1, because the hydrogen, wherever hydrogen is there, that will be replaced. So it cannot break the CC bond, it cannot break. Only CH bond can be broken and chlorine will be added to that. Therefore, all this are similar. Therefore, only 1 monochloro derivative is formed. Identical position for chlorination, only 1 monochloro derivative will be formed. Now DDT is 2,2-diparachlorophenyl 1,1,1 trichloroethane, 2,2-dimetachlorophenyl 1,1,1 trichloroethane, 2,2. Okay, not reading it. So we already know that it is dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. Okay, the same thing is given here. Only now the benzene ring containing that halogen, whether it is ortho position or para position or meta position, or it is in para position. It is in para position. Chlorine atom is in para position. Both cases, diphenyl group. Okay, so it is 2,2-diparachloro diphenyl 1,1,1 trichloroethane. Okay, so this is position 1, position 2. Position 2 contains two diphenyl chlorophenyl group, that two para chlorophenyl. Now some organic compounds are given in list 1 and the uses are given in list 2. Choose the correct matching. List 1, trichloroidomethane, DDT, trichloromethane, dichloromethane. List 2 I think is a property. Solvent for alkaloid, propellant, aerosol, antiseptic, insecticide. Options are given as A connected to 2, second one A connected to 3, third option A is connected to 2 again, B connected to 1, then fourth option A connected to 3, that is antiseptic, triiodomethane, it is antiseptic only. Okay, now how to solve it? We know already the properties. Triiodomethane is antiseptic, DDT is insecticide. Okay, so we'll check A and B first. I is needed. Okay, so here I is missing. Triiodomethane. Okay, triiodomethane, it is an antiseptic. Antiseptic. A to 3 is option B as well as option D. Okay, so option A and option B and option D. Option A and option C are out of this. Now DDT is insecticide. That also we know DDT insecticide is 4. B4. Okay, we got the correct answer. Remaining are matching. C trichloromethane. It is solvent for alkaloid. That is option. That is list 1. List 2 1 and D, that is 3, and D septic. D2, that is a propellant in aerosol. So all those are matching in option B. Now Freon 12, it is a manufactured from carbon tetrachloride by Woods reaction, Schwarz reaction, Fittig reaction, Woods-Fittig reaction. So Freon, it is a fluorochloro. So fluorine is also there. So to get fluorine alkyl fluoride, the best reaction, that is CCl4 plus SbF3 FbCl5 gives 3CCl2 Freon 12 plus 2 SbCl3. So to get a fluorine connection to the alkyl group, so this is carbon tetrachloride. Okay, so it is a methyl group present here. To that we need to add F2 for fluorine. So that can be done by Schwarz reaction. Okay, so Schwarz reaction, this is also example for Schwarz reaction. What we seen earlier, that is alkyl halide reacts with AgF. That was the initial reaction introduced, but again here also fluorine is added. The alkyl fluorides are prepared by Schwarz reaction. Which one of the following compound is responsible for depletion of ozone layer? So my explanation is limited to the first and second pre-university level, +1, +2. No, it is not here. It's not going to higher research oriented. Therefore, my explanation are based on that. That's why I am giving such explanations. Don't take it as a research field. We have many other reactions which may not be treated as Schwarz reaction. Okay, so freon, chlorofluorine, DDT, iodoform. Which one of the following compound is responsible for depletion of ozone layer? Which one is the responsible for depletion of ozone layer? Chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons are freons. Okay, so it will it is introduced as from refrigerating equipments which undergo photochemical decomposition and destroy of ozone layer. Freon is the correct answer. Chloroform reacts with oxygen in the presence of light to give carbon tetrachloride, carbonyl chloride, methyl chloride, methylene dichloride. What is that? Chloroform reacts with oxygen, carbonyl chloride is. Okay, so CH, I'm giving the structure of chloroform, CHCl3 reacts with oxygen in presence of light. First we will get a OH group. OH group, from that HCl will be eliminated, condensation takes place, and when condensation takes place, here it forms a double bond with oxygen, C double bond or single bond Cl, single bond Cl. This is phosgene, that is a carbonyl chloride. Okay, so that already seen that chloroform oxidation gives phosgene, so that reaction given here now. Okay, that phosgene is poisonous. Okay, now what is DDT among the following? It is a fertilizer, already answer given. Fertilizer, biodegradable pollutant, non-biodegradable pollutant, greenhouse gas is non-biodegradable pollutant. It becomes a bioaccumulate. It accumulate in our body also. It is not getting degraded. Carbon tetrachloride and freons are green compounds because they are green color. No, depletes ozone concentration. Cause increase in ozone concentration. Have no effects on ozone concentration. Everything related to ozone. That means freons, chlorofluorocarbons. It depletes ozone concentration. It is the correct answer. Chloroform on treatment with concentrated nitric acid gives CCl3NO2, CHClHNO3, CHCl2NO2, CHCl2NO3. We'll take the reaction. Chloroform reacts with HNO3. HNO3 means HONOO with a positive charge on nitrogen, negative charge on oxygen. What will take place? Initially, condensation takes place. H2O will condense out. Then OH minus, from here OH minus goes this negative bond it takes with hydroxyl group. Here H plus is coming out, becomes H2O. Then this will be attached by nitrogen here. Okay, therefore after completion of that we'll be getting here NO2 group, that is CCl3NO2. Okay, so NO2 group connected there and we are getting CCl3NO2. Next, chloroform heating with silver powder gives ethene, ethine, methane, ethane. Again, taking the reaction, silver powder. So actually I need two chloroform molecule and silver powder. So there are 6 chlorine atoms are there. Therefore, the ratio is 6 silver. Now this 6 silver will take 1 chlorine each, becomes AgCl, silver chloride. And here it forms a carbon 3 vacancies are removed, chlorine is removed, therefore it has to form a triple bond here. So it forms CH triple bond, CH triple bond, that is ethine. It is ethine. A sample of chloroform before being used as an antiseptic agent is tested by, okay, anesthetic agent, not antiseptic agent. Chloroform is used as in anesthesia. Dizziness, it causes dizziness. Okay, Fehling solution, ammoniac cuprous chloride, silver nitrate solution, cold, silver nitrate solution after boiling with alcoholic AOH, silver nitrate in the cold. Okay, so chloroform is tested for the presence of phosgene. Phosgene gas will give white precipitate when treated with silver nitrate solution in the cold. Okay, on after boiling with alcoholic AOH, then even if phosgene is not there also, it will give white precipitate. Therefore, even this D option is also cannot be considered. Option C, it forms a silver nitrate. It reacts with a silver nitrate to give white precipitate in the cold, not in hot condition. Hot condition, if white precipitate is formed, it may not be presence of phosgene. Therefore, the reaction should be done in cold condition. Okay, so that is test for a phosgene gas. Option C is the correct answer. Hexachloroethane is also called gamaxine, artificial camphor, pyrene, artificial silk. Okay, so gamaxine, it is the gamma hexachlorocyclohexane, also known as gamalin or lindane. It is an agricultural insecticide, name of an insecticide. Artificial silk, that is rayon. It is a polymer which we call as a rayon. Nylon, a part of similar to nylon, we heard we call it as artificial silk. Pyrene, it is a polycyclic aromatic compound, heterocyclic compound. Therefore, camphor, artificial camphor, because hexachloroethane gives the same odor as that of camphor. It is known as artificial camphor. So that's about nomenclature and preparation methods. So now physical properties, chemical properties, that will be discussed in my next video class. So please be with me, stay with me. Please subscribe my YouTube channel, like the videos, and share it to maximum students. Those will get benefited. Keep on watching the videos in continuous interval. so that you can revise the work. So that's about this particular video class. Thank you very much for watching my video. Have a nice day.